You've walked through shadows that not even the sun could touch. And still, here you are, heart steady, soul searching, spirit open. Every scar has whispered a lesson, and every silence has echoed with meaning. What felt like delays were never denials. Only divine timing unfolding in ways unseen. Type, I am ready to receive a love that feels like peace you were not seeking, not today. But something greater is guiding this moment. A presence surrounds you now, calm and luminous, reminding you that even when the path bends, you are never lost. You are seen deeply. You are known fully. And something beautiful is approaching quietly, unmistakably. This is more than coincidence. This is the hand of God, weaving your story with threads of grace, placing someone on your path, just when your heart had stopped expecting. Type, I trust that love is finding me now, because sometimes the most sacred connections find us in our stillness. And they come not to complete us, but to walk with us. This is one of those moments. Breathe. You are not alone. Type, I welcome a sacred connection. If you're ready, you thought the days had settled into quiet patterns, routine, familiar, even comfortable at times. The pages of your story seem to turn slowly, almost imperceptibly, as though life itself had taken a breath and decided to wait with you. But the divine rarely works in obvious ways. Behind the scenes of your everyday moments, something has been aligning. Not by chance, not by coincidence, but with a wisdom older than time itself. A presence, soft as a whisper and deep as the stars, has been guiding invisible threads toward your life. You couldn't have planned for this. You weren't supposed to. Comment, my relationship is being divinely prepared, because some encounters are written in silence before they are spoken aloud. They arrive like a gentle breeze on a still day, unnoticed until they are already close. You may cross paths on an ordinary afternoon, when the sky carries no signs and your thoughts are somewhere else entirely. Yet in that instant, something ancient within you will recognize what your mind cannot name. It may be the way their eyes pause when they look at you, or the way the silence between words feels like a sacred place. The energy unspoken, yet undeniable, will feel like coming home to something you didn't know you had lost. Type, my heart is open to divine love. This is not a fantasy born from longing. This is a connection that honors where you've been and welcomes where you're going. It asks nothing but presence and offers everything in return. The celestial messengers do not announce what is holy with thunder. They move in stillness, delivering sacred moments wrapped in mystery. And when they move, hearts awaken. Pay attention not to signs in the sky, but to the quiet within. For what is meant for you draws near, not with noise, but with resonance, with truth, with love, shaped not by expectation, but by divine orchestration. Type, the love I seek is seeking me too, and when it arrives, nothing will be the same, yet everything will make sense. It happened once, in the quiet space between destinations. A soul, weary yet kind, walked into a bookstore on a day like any other. No reason, no particular intention, just a gentle pull towards something unplanned. They wandered through aisles scented with old pages and whispered stories, unaware that destiny was already present in the room. Two paths, long separate, drawn by threads no eye could see. Type, I am ready for the love meant for me. It wasn't the first glance that mattered. It was the pause, the second look, that strange sense of familiarity, as if the air between them remembered something they had forgotten. No words at first, only presence. And presence has a language deeper than speech. The encounter was brief, just a few shared sentences, a moment exchanged in passing. But time slowed not dramatically, not with grand music, but with a softness that made the moment feel sacred. The kind of sacred that doesn't need a name. Later, they would recall how nothing in that day hinted at change. How everything felt ordinary, until it wasn't. This is how the divine works. Not through spectacle, but through grace hidden in plain sight. Through moments that appear small, yet echo across lifetimes. Through meetings that arrive as gentle interruptions to our routine, carrying within them the potential to rewrite everything. It wasn't about perfection. It wasn't about searching. It was about readiness. A readiness the soul often feels long before the mind catches up. Some hearts meet not because they were seeking love, but because love had been seeking them. What awaits is not the love often portrayed in stories, polished and predictable. This connection defies logic, slips past definitions, and enters like a melody you've never heard, but somehow already know. It may begin in the most unremarkable of places, at a cafe table, in the glow of a late train ride, or beneath a shared umbrella when the rain surprises both. And yet, what begins as coincidence unfolds as revelation. The presence will not overwhelm, but it will anchor you. Not in loud proclamations, but in the way conversations linger even after parting. In the way their presence calms your restlessness without needing to fix it. In the quiet recognition that they carry something you once lost, something invisible, but familiar. This meeting will ask you to stay open, to put down the weight of old doubts, and hold space for something new. It will not demand you to change, but will invite you to be more of who you already are. You might notice how time behaves differently, how hours feel lighter, how the ordinary becomes radiant. Even your solitude begins to soften, no longer heavy, but full of quiet expectancy. Expect, perhaps, a love that grows not in haste, but in reverence. A connection that unfolds like dawn, slow, luminous, certain. The kind that meets you where you are, and walks beside you without needing to rush. This is not the love that arrives to save you, for you were never broken. It comes to mirror what has always lived within you: truth, warmth, and the sacred recognition of being truly seen. But even the most divine encounters are not without their trials. When something this unexpected arrives, it doesn't always knock gently. Sometimes it unsettles what you thought was certain. It invites you to re-examine what you've called love before, what you've accepted, and what you've feared. It can be disorienting. This presence may awaken memories you thought you had buried. Old wounds might rise, not to harm you, but to be acknowledged so that they no longer govern your future. You may resist at first, not out of rejection, but because this connection speaks a language your heart understands instantly, yet your mind struggles to translate. It's not comfort that holds you back, but the vulnerability that true closeness demands. There might be doubts, moments of distance, even silence. Not because love is absent, but because it's real, and real things take time to grow roots. Expect challenges that are not punishments, but mirrors. Conversations that press gently on your beliefs. Emotions that call you to honesty. Situations that test your ability to stay open when retreat feels safer. You may find that love, when authentic, doesn't always arrive with perfect timing. It shows up when the soul is ready, even if the calendar isn't. And that can be difficult. Because to let someone in when you weren't seeking anyone means releasing the illusion of control. Yet in those very moments of uncertainty, something sacred unfolds. Not a fairy tale, but a living truth. A chance to build something raw and extraordinary. A journey that is not without its shadows, but where the light is made more beautiful because of them. This connection won't ask for a version of you that isn't real. It will hold your light and your wounds with the same reverence. And if you choose to embrace it, not all at once, but with presence, it will guide you not away from yourself, but deeper into who you truly are. Few realize just how rare it is to be chosen for such a meeting. To be entrusted with a connection that carries not only affection, but purpose. This is not simply an encounter between two lives, it is an alignment written across time. A weaving of paths that, against all logic, has found its moment. You are not merely lucky. You are blessed. Not by chance, but by divine orchestration. This moment is not random. It is the unfolding of something sacred that has quietly been forming behind the veil of ordinary days. Celestial messengers have walked beside you through countless moments, guiding, whispering, waiting. And now, the path opens. The timing is precise, though it may not seem so. What once felt delayed was only preparation. What once seemed like absence was only the weaving of invisible threads. Your soul was not forgotten. It has been guarded, kept safe until now. And now, what you thought was lost will be returned not as it once was, but in a form more whole, more alive. There is profound grace in being met in the exact place where your heart has quietly waited. To be seen not for what you pretend to be, but for what you are, even in your stillness. To have your presence cherished not because it performs, but because it simply exists. This connection arrives not to fix your life, but to walk beside it, to bless it, to reflect back all the light you've shared with the world, often unnoticed, often unspoken. It is a recognition, not only of love, but of your sacred journey. You have not missed your chance. You have not been passed by. What is approaching is meant for you, in the deepest sense. And though you may not have been seeking it, it has always been seeking you. And so, you arrive at the edge of something sacred. Not an ending, but a beginning dressed in humility. Life has not forgotten you. The unseen hands that guide your steps have brought you here with care, with intention. Even the delays, even the detours, were part of the orchestration. This meeting, this soul approaching, carries within it echoes of a promise made beyond memory. A kind of remembrance that bypasses logic. A feeling that wraps around your spirit and says, "Here, now, this is yours." No grand gesture is required. Sometimes, the most meaningful moments arrive softly. A glance, a word, an unspoken recognition. And from that simplicity, something eternal begins to grow. Let your heart remain open, not because it is easy, but because it is worthy. Let wonder accompany you, not as a dream, but as a quiet knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. In the great unfolding of your journey, this is not a coincidence. It is a divine reply to the parts of you that prayed without words. A quiet answer to the loneliness you never admitted. A healing touch in places you thought would remain untouched. Walk gently now. You are approaching holy ground. And what meets you there is not fantasy, but truth. Not perfection, but presence. Not promises carved in stone, but souls choosing freely to honor what they have found.